Hello and welcome to Trojan Sports Now. I'm Briana Jones.
And I'm Seth Carpenter. Stick around as we bring you the latest news and scores from Troy Athletics.
Wednesday was National Signing Day, and Trojan head coach Chip Lindsey announced the addition of 5 new players to an already star-studded Trojan roster from the early signing period in the fall, making it what they are calling one of the top signing classes in school history. As new head coach Chip Lindsey is still figuring out his staff for the Trojan football team, he also has to figure out the roster. And on Wednesday, or National Signing Day, Lindsey added 5 new players to fill in some holes.
You know, I think I'm excited about this class for a couple reasons. One is the quality of kids that we're bringing into our program. I think that's important. I think Coach Brown and his staff, the 19 or 18 guys that we signed early, they all fit our culture here and what we're about.
These 5 guys include Kalen Geiger, Jaden Warren, Jack Martin, Reddy Stewart, and Javon Solomon. This class was noted as the top signing class in Troy school history.
And I think these guys got a chance to be good players. You never know in these signing classes until 2 or 3 years from now sometimes. But I think we got a chance to have a really good class here.
Right now you're looking at Tyler Sumter, who is practicing for the 2019 season already, and this is much needed after losing Bratcher Underwood, one kicker who graduated. Lindsey came in and realized that this was an issue, so he added a kicker from Northview High School right down in Dothan.
And then Jack Martin is a kicker that we signed out of Northview, the Wiregrass area, which we always want to recruit and get as many guys as we can here from right down the road. So, he's 8 of 10 on field goals. This guy, he had touchbacks on 39 of 42 kicks, which is huge. Got a really big leg, and excited about him. I think he was ranked like the number 16 kicker in the country.
Spring practice will begin next month for the Trojans, and Troy's annual T-Day is set for April 20th. The Trojans open their season August 31st against Campbell.
Starting today, spring will be in the air, and I'm not talking necessarily about the weather, but more like a sound. The sound of a ball making contact with a bat, as softball season will officially be back for the Trojans. There's a little longer wait for baseball, but not too long, as they will start their season next Friday. However, fans got their first taste of Troy's spring sports as they got to meet the faces of these 2 teams who will represent Troy for the 2019 season. Nick Brooks gives us a look into how it all went down.
With another softball and baseball season quickly approaching, the Trojans held their annual Fan Day on Saturday. Fan Day gives the fans and players an opportunity they do not get during the season.
The very best thing about today is the interaction with the fans. Fans get to come onto the field and meet these kids face to face.
But there'll be a lot of people that they've never met before that they probably didn't know were big fans. So I think that's important for them to just feel the love from the community.
With baseball and softball teaming up to do Fan Day, it introduces each fan base to each other.
It allows the baseball fan to appreciate softball, and then vice versa. And I do think there's some carryover there. When we're on the road, I think some of our fans go watch softball if they're at home. I think that's great.
Both Mullins and Smart had a certain word in mind for the fans.
Just thanks. I mean, I love this community. They've supported us. This is my 5th year, and every single Fan Day gets bigger and bigger. So just thanks for the support.
I appreciate the support. I appreciate their investment in our program. More importantly, I appreciate their investment in our young people. They genuinely care about these kids. They want them to succeed. They're here to prop them up in times of struggle.
The Trojan baseball and softball team have been doing Fan Day for 10 plus years, and the fan base continues to grow after each season. Nick Brooks, Troy, Trojan Vision Sports.
After being named the D1Baseball.com Sunbelt Preseason Player of the Year, Drew Frederick is looking to have another great season, but so is the team. And Frederick said that he wants the focus to be on the team.
Hoping that the eyes don't come to me and everybody else around me is doing good also, so I'm not focused or I'm not the center of attention, anything like that. So hopefully everybody comes through and does what we think they can do, and we have a good team this year.
Trojan women's basketball team dropped only their 2nd Sunbelt game of the season to in-state rival South Alabama on Saturday afternoon. Jags made 10 of its last 11 field goal attempts en route to an 80-77 upset of Troy at the Mitchell Center on Saturday. The Jaguars outscored the Trojans 30-22 in the 4th quarter. Harriet Winchester had a team best 10 points for Troy, and Skyland Holmes turned in 11 rebounds.
And the Trojan men's basketball team had more of the same against South Alabama in the second game of the basketball doubleheader in Mobile. The Trojans dropped the nightcap to the Jags 81-75 after South Alabama made a big second half comeback to win. Troy had a 12-point halftime lead but couldn't hold on. The Trojans struggled from behind the arc in the second half as they only shot 28%, while the Jaguars caught fire, shooting 88% from deep and 69% from the field in the final 20 minutes.
It was another close loss for the Trojans women's basketball team as they fell to the Little Rock Trojans on the road last night in Arkansas. A little run made things interesting, but Troy could not overcome a double-digit fourth quarter deficit in a 76-72 loss to Little Rock on Thursday in Jack Stevens Center. Trailing by 11 with 54 seconds remaining in the game, Troy scored 6 points in 10 seconds to cut the gap to 5. After the teams traded layups, Tyra Johnson knocked down a three-pointer to pull Troy within 2. However, the surge would end there, and Little Rock would seal the win with 3 free throws.
A 6-point halftime lead was not enough as the Trojan men's basketball team could not hold on to a win against Little Rock last night in Trojan Arena. Thursday night, the Trojan men's basketball team added another loss to its current losing streak, now making it 4 games where the Trojans just couldn't come on top. The first half, the men kept it close, even being down one of their best players, but the second half defense would determine how the game ended.
To play so well, without Jordan in the first half, I was really pleased at halftime and excited about where we were. I thought we had great energy defensively. We were moving. Offensively, we were good. We went small and we were able to score on them. But the second half was a totally different story. We came out and we just our defense, they made some adjustments in their zone offense, and they cut our zone up early and made a couple threes, and then we went man-to-man. That didn't slow them down. Nothing could slow them down.
In the second half, Little Rock shot 78% in field goals and added 77% from the three-point line and 75% in free throws.
And the stats tell the whole story. For them to shoot it like they did second half, you got no chance to win if you give up that kind of percentage. Well, the one guy who we really needed to step up was Alex. He was going to get more of an opportunity to get the ball, and he was pretty good in the first half, and I think that's one of the reasons why we had to lead. But I don't think he made a shot in the second half, and he ended up 4 for 13, only had 9 points, only 2 rebounds, 0 block shots. He's so affected by his offense, and when he got to struggling early, early in the second half, I think it affected him.
The men fell to the Little Rock Trojans 80-74.
The Trojan men's tennis team has been off to a hot start, and their winning streak continued on Saturday. Briana has all the action from the Lunsford Tennis Complex.
The Troy University men's tennis team extends their winning streak to 4 wins and stays undefeated on the season after defeating Point University 4-3 this past Saturday.
Once we won the doubles point, we went into the singles knowing that we were going to win the match. Maybe we got a little bit overconfident, and some guys started a little slow, but once it started getting close, I think the guys really wanted the win. And credit to Point University. I mean, they came and they were ready.
The match was clinched by lone senior Jiachi Duan after coming back from losing the first set and being down 1-2 in the second set.
Our coach come to my court and saying everybody else is losing now. He need me to win. I said, well, yes, I got to come back and win the match and help the team out to getting more victories.
Duan and Vargas have a few takeaways from the first 4 matches of the season.
The biggest takeaway for the first 4 matches, I think, is for experience, because we are a young team. We got a lot of freshmen here.
I think we handled the pressure well when we were the team that needed to win the match. But now it's going to be interesting to see what happens when the pressure is on the other teams.
The Trojans are putting their hot streak to the test as they head up to the cold of South Carolina to face Gardner-Webb, South Carolina State University, and Wofford for their first road trip of the season. Briana, Troy, Trojan Vision Sports.
Sophomore Precious Ogba won 3 events at the Camel City Invitational to lead another stellar meet for Troy Indoor Track and Field this weekend. Ogba kicked off her big day with a win in the 200-meter dash, where she ran a personal best of 24.74 second race. She followed by winning the 400 meter with a conference best of 55.81 second run. Then she wrapped it all up, helping lead the 4x400 meter relay team to a victory in its event. The team consisted of Olva, Tiara Bailey, Gemma Finch, and Madison Kennedy. 5 new school indoor records were set at the meet, highlighted by the women's distance medley relay team. Finch, Kennedy, Bailey, and Tanner guessed winning its event with a school record time.
So to come on Trojan Sports Now, we'll have a preview of the Trojan men's basketball team's matchup against Arkansas State.
But first, I will sit down with Javen Johnson of the Trojan men's basketball team for this week's Trojan Sports Now interview. Stick around for more Trojan Sports Now. Welcome back to Trojan Sports Now. The start of Trojan baseball season is coming up this week right here in Trojan territory against Central Michigan. Last season, the men went 42-21 overall and 19-11 in conference action. The team is picked to finish third, even with 2 of their players receiving preseason accolades. One of those recipients, Drew Frederick, spoke on his expectations for the 2019 season.
First weekend, always have expectations of winning, but after that, we just want to make a run in the conference tournament and hopefully make a regional in the postseason. That'd be awesome, just like last year.
On February 15th, the men square off against Central Michigan in Riddle Pace Field to kick off their season.
In hopes of keeping their winning streak alive, the Trojan men's tennis team will take on Gardner-Webb for their first road trip of the season. First serve is set for 2 p.m. in Boiling Springs, North Carolina. That matchup against Gardner-Webb will be Saturday at 2 p.m. Then South Carolina State University at 1 p.m. on Sunday and Woolford at 2 p.m. on Monday.
The Trojan softball team kicks off their 2019 season Friday in Trojan territory for the Troy University tournament. A few returning players are giving fans some hope to a team that is doing a bit of reconstruction as they replace a few key players. The team is kicking off its season against pretty big schools such as Maryland, Murray State, and even the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Head coach Beth Mullins spoke highly of this team, but says outside people will be expecting just as much from them as they are.
You can have your team have the high standards that you have without you even saying anything. I think that's important. So I think people are, outside of us, I think people in our conference are going to expect more from us. I don't think we're going to be a shock to anybody.
Once again, the Trojan softball team season opener is against Maryland this afternoon at 3 p.m. Immediately following, the team will take on Alabama at the Troy softball complex.
Troy Indoor Track and Field will compete in the Bulldog Invite hosted by Sanford at the Birmingham Crossplex Friday for its final regular season meet of the 2019 campaign. The meet is scheduled to begin at 8 a.m. with the women's weight throw event and will conclude with the men's 1,600 meter race at 4:30 p.m. Competing against Troy are Sunbelt foes South Alabama and Louisiana, among others. Notably, UAB, Louisiana Tech, and South Florida. The Trojans head into the meet with a ton of momentum from their success at the Camel City Invite in Winston-Salem, North Carolina last weekend. Troy's star at the meet was Precious Ogba, who was a part of three different event victories: the 200 meter, 400 meter, and 4x400 meter relay.
The men's basketball team will face Arkansas State Saturday in hopes to snap this 4-game losing streak. The men won in overtime earlier this year, 90-85 over the Red Wolves. Once again, the men will face Arkansas State in Trojan Arena Saturday. Tip-off is set for 2 p.m.
Women's basketball team is also now on a losing streak of their own after dropping their last 2 games to South Alabama and Little Rock. The team will remain in Arkansas as they face Arkansas State in Jonesboro on Saturday at 4 p.m. The game will be broadcast on ESPN Plus and WTBF Radio.
So, Seth, I don't know if you caught the women's and the men's basketball games, but it seemed like both teams were pretty close and could have got a win.
They could have got a win. I noticed that the biggest thing that stood out to me in the women's game on the road was the fact that we only shot 19% from 3 that game and barely over 30% from the field.
Well, hopefully they can do better on Saturday, so best of luck to them.
Hopefully.
That's all the time we have for Trojan Sports Now. Check us out online at youtube.com/Troy Trojan Vision to catch anything you missed.
For Briana Jones, I'm Seth Carpenter. Thanks for watching us, and as always,
Go
Trojans.